morning, everyone. This is Ruben and Veronica with another episode of the Red Alpha Mugshot Monday podcast. It has been a hot minute. How do they say it?
Yeah.
It's been several weeks since we've been able to sit down and record. We tried last week, but I just had this cough that's been lingering, and I'm still dealing with a little bit of the mucus from. We got sick, I don't know, a couple of months ago. And man, it took a long time to get over. It's that cough, it's that flu that's been going around. And it's more annoying than anything. I wasn't in any pain or anything like that. And we didn't take any days off. We just, NyQuil by day and Dayquil by night and the generic Zyrtec when we needed it, which we needed it quite a bit just to, get some sleep. But so we were unable to record, but we had a lot going on. As a matter of fact, we ended the year, really good. We celebrated on the days that, we took days off, but for the holidays to spend time with our family and all that stuff. But we got sick, so that kind of made it to where we can, we weren't able to do our full plans for, for Christmas and all of that stuff. And so here we are. We're in February. And we're recording our first episode for the year. And so I apologize to all of the millions of fans that have been listening to us. I know that you feel let down, but we are still here. We are still going. And for those of you who are just now tuning in or coming across our channel, we are the owners of Red Alpha Custom Prints, located here in Abilene, Texas. We're a print shop. We started out doing T-shirts, and then we quickly grew into embroidery. Then we expanded into wide format, which the wide format is really taking over now, with the vehicle wrap signs and banners, stickers, things like that. We still do all the other stuff. As a matter of fact, I'm wearing one of my favorite shirts. It's one of our original designs, from the Clown Patrol. And you can find that on our website, www.redacp.com. My lovely lady here is wearing one of our work shirts with the Red Alpha logo on it. And so if you guys want to browse our website and just see some of our original designs, but also if you're looking for some prints for your business or your organizations, we can definitely help you out with that. But without going too much into detail, let's go ahead and step into this. It can't be a Mugshot Monday if we're not talking about coffee and if we're not talking about some new mugs. These are brand new mugs that were gifted to us by one of our daughters. Yes. Right. And my wife will tell you where they found it because it's tied into, our weekend recap. But man, el mejor abuelo. And
La mejor abuela.
Right. Matching set. Look at that. Clink. And, so the coffee that we're drinking is just a basic coffee. It's what is it? The 8 o'clock in the morning. I think it's called
8 o'clock something.
It's just a dark espresso.
Dark roast
espresso. It does the job. My wife bought a big old bag at HEB, and we coffee beans. We ground them every day. And because we're fancy, so we grind the beans and then, enjoy the coffee. And this one, I drink my coffee black Monday through Thursday. On Friday, I kind of let my hair down and let my wife put some half and half in it. Or what do you put in it?
I put half and half and a little bit of French vanilla.
Yeah. So I kind of treat myself on Friday, and just with the coffee, for some reason, I just got it in my head that I need to drink it black, right? I'm a grown man. I need to drink black coffee. I don't know. One of my sons is the same way. He drinks it black just because that's how I taught him. But you can enjoy it every now and then. But all that sugar is sometimes just not good for you. Drinking it every day. But not that I'm the example of health, but kind of want to do the right thing right there because I drink a lot of coffee. And so that's our coffee mugs. These obviously it represents a big part of our lives, and we love being grandma and grandpa, abuelo and abuela. We love it. We have two grandsons, and man, I am just all about doing what I do so that I can spend time with them. Matter of fact, we're going to be spending time with one of our grandsons this weekend, and it's just amazing.
It is.
It's amazing. We're kind of new at being grandparents, I guess. We got a couple of years on one, and then this other one is just months. And so it's brand new. But I mean, I still think like we're kind of in the beginning stage. We're not seasoned grandparents yet.
No.
And the best is yet to come when it comes to us being a grandparent. And excuse me if I cough here and there. Still not completely over the mucus, and that could be tied into the fact that I'm not eating the way that I should. So we'll see. Allergies or something, right? But the show must go on. I felt really bad last week whenever we actually started and recorded about 15 minutes, and then I was like, I can't do it. I feel like I'm going to cough, cough out a lung or something. Not cough out a lung, but I just keep continuing cough like a cough attack, and so can't talk about anything. If you're going to cough all day. And so, but yeah, that's the intro. We're excited to get into this. Those are our coffee mugs. We're going to roll right into our weekend recap. And so this weekend, obviously it was Valentine's Day weekend. And, but we did things a little bit different this week. It was all about my wife and a special thing that her and our daughter had planned for months. And so I'm just going to hand over the mic to my lovely wife so that she can share her experience this weekend.
Thanks, babe. Yeah, so this weekend was it was so awesome. Unfortunately, it landed on Valentine's Day, but we already knew that, so we got prepared for that. Our daughter and I, we went to San Antonio. It was for a meet and greet. It wasn't really a Comic-Con or a convention. It was more like a meet and greet with the actors of Gilmore Girls. It was called the Stars Hollow Valentines. And so, man, it was awesome. We got to meet in person, take a picture, and get an autograph with Luke Danes. He's the owner of the Luke's Diner. I'm going to say their character's name.
Yeah, go ahead.
Luke Danes, Kirk. We got to meet Mitchum Huntsberger, Logan's dad, Brian from the band, and Zach was there too from the band, but he got added last minute, so we didn't have a pass to go to his table and meet him and get an autograph. We also got to meet Michelle and also Anna Nardini, which is April's mom, but she also played Sasha, which was Jess's real dad's girlfriend when he went to California to go meet his dad after he hadn't seen him for, I don't know, since he was a baby. But anyway, so those were the actors that we met. They were all so nice. I mean, they were just like regular people. I was kind of, it was interesting because they just took their time talking to people. People would come up and they're excited and they were just chatting away, like if they've known each other, and they weren't rushing us, It was really relaxed and just kind of like if you're meeting somebody, which, as people that watch a show, and if you're, a fan of a show, that you kind of feel like, that
oh yeah, especially
actor,
as long as
as a person.
Yeah,
so
yeah, I mean, you didn't ask the question, but
I didn't
so I told my wife, I said, okay, you need to ask Luke, like, man, did you not see the red flags in your relationship with Lorelai, or like what's going on? It's I know we do dumb things whenever we fall in love, but man, there were so many red flags. And so, fellas, there's no shame in knowing the Gilmore Girls. My wife watches it, like that's her show. in between shows, right?
Yeah.
And it's like she'll watch that every day. If it's not that, it used to be The Office,
Yeah.
and she'll rotate, right? But Gilmore Girls is one that she will watch over and over and over. Matter of fact, her and our daughter were, like after they did their things, with the actors, they were going back into the room and watching episodes.
Watching the episodes.
So I was like,
yeah.
"Where are you at?" Oh, okay. And I didn't know exactly the whole thing, but I mean, it's hard not to, like, I'll sit there and I'm like, I'm actually watching this, and then it's like I'm getting engaged. Like, man,
He
and
knows.
my thing is like, I do not like Lorelai,
Yeah.
and I always say this: Rory's better than Lorelai, but she's a little Lorelai.
Yeah.
And and so my favorite, I don't even know who my favorite character, probably Sebastian Bach, because he was with Skid Row. And
That's Gil. Gil from the band.
yeah, and I guess Kirk, because he's also in Guardians of the Galaxy, and so, but it's hard not to, and so it's just part of being a good husband, just kind of
Yeah.
joining in what you like. It don't always have to be all the action and Marvel stuff that I like. Right?
And we do that, if there's a show that he likes and not particularly my style. I mean, we'll watch it, but yeah, my husband will watch the show with me. It's kind of also in between if we're taking a little break, and so we're like, I'll put it on. I usually start watching it in the fall, and then 7 seasons, and it takes a few months. And I'll watch a couple of episodes here and there, one or part of them, as I'm washing dishes or something like that. And but yeah, it was a great experience. I thought I was a fan, and I am a fan, but man, there were fans there that were fans.
There's levels,
like there's levels of fans, right? Yeah. They were really invested, and there was one lady that I saw that was dressed like Luke. I mean, she was wearing a flannel and the baseball cap. She even painted like a fake beard or whatever, scruff on her face, and she was walking around, and there was a lot of little Lukes that we saw, like moms and dads that had their little sons dressed like a baby Luke. It was so cute. A lot of Lukes, and we didn't see nobody else dressed like anybody else. It was just Lukes.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of fans, and it's great because we'd be in line. The lines weren't long for us.
We're VIPs.
We were VIPs, so that was awesome. When we got there, actually, we got there that evening, Friday evening. It was an early registration or early bird, like to go grab your packet or whatever. And our daughter and I, we went and we got to the mall because the hotel was right across from the mall where it was happening, and we got there around a little bit after 6, and so we're just kind of making our way through. There's a lot of vendors setting up. It was a big old thing going on along with vendors. So we're looking, and then we saw this big old line just wrapped around the corner of one of the stores, and we're like, I wonder what that is. And so we go over there to the front, and it's like, this is where you get your packet, if you've already bought it online or whatever. And I'm like, oh man, I thought I saw something like that. So what do? We go all the way to the back of the line, right? It was, I don't know how many, maybe 50 to 60 people or more. I'm not sure. It was a lot of people that were there. But they hadn't even begun to start checking people out. So we were in the back of the line, like, this is going to take forever. Well, we got all night. And so then we saw one of the event staff came around and is like, is anybody here does have the VIP I'm all in? And we're like, hey, that's us. And we're like, yeah. So a few of us, maybe 5 from that whole line, followed him. We went right to the front of the line.
You were like, later, losers.
Right to the front of the line. We were there maybe the total of 30 minutes tops, waiting, and we got our packet, and then everybody else was still in line waiting. We got our lanyards, our little, bracelets and stuff. We got a free T-shirt. We got a tote bag that said no cell phones crossed out. That's
really cool.
Luke has that in his diner, and man, we were all set to go. Then the very next day we got there. about 11:30ish, about 11, and there was lines already. We could see the booth where Luke was, and man, that line was like, like a snake going up, like crisscross. And then so we're like, okay, we'll do that the very last. So we went over there where all the other actors were. Hardly anybody was there, and we already had our stuff, so we can get in. We were in line. Kirk was the first one. We were like 2 or 3 people in front of us. Anyway, so we got through all that. We got all of our pictures, all of our autographs in an hour and a half. We were like,
that's cool.
We were done, but we were able to, mingle and meet other people from, different states and around Texas. And our daughter had her nails painted with a Luke and the dragonfly and the no cell phones, and so people were looking at her and they're like, "Oh, I love your nails!" And our shirts, we made them just specifically for that. It was a Valentine's theme,
yep.
Luke's Diner, and so nobody else. I didn't see anybody else have that shirt like that. People were complimenting on our shirts, and then our daughter had one of her purses that was it's a big, like, it's a coffee mug that says Luke's Diner, and so she was getting a lot of compliments for that. And just fans.
Even Luke looked at the shirts, right? He's like,
yeah, he looked. Whenever we got to take the picture, he came around and he's like, "Hey, where'd you get your shirt?" And I said, "I printed it." And he's like, He went like that, and so we took our picture. So he noticed the shirt as well.
If I would have been in there, I would have sold the deal. I was like, "Hey, you're missing out on an opportunity right here. We can print shirts. You're Luke. I can print Luke shirts. Let's work something out." Boom! I would have walked out there a Gilmore Girl.
A Gilmore Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were after that we got some pizza there because they had a food court, and we were in line. We were just chit chatting with other people that liked the show, and it was really cool just talking about it, and everybody was excited to be there, and then we got to well, I was gonna say, whenever I got to Luke's table, I was really nervous, and so then they have like 4 or 5 different pictures that you can choose from. You get one, and then he'll sign it. That was part of the package, right? So I'm like, oh, which one should I get? So I got mine, and our daughter was gonna have Luke sign her purse, and he did, and so. She goes first, and so and he extends his hand, but he was trying to get the photo that I got, and I thought he was going in for a handshake, and so I'm like, "Oh, nice to meet you," and he played it off. He shook my hand. He goes, "Nice to meet you too," and then I knew as soon as I shook his hand, I knew what he was going in for the picture. So and then I gave him the picture. I felt so like.
So out of place.
Yeah,
starstruck.
We were starstruck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to learn the art of playing it off, right? You should have when you saw that he was going for the picture, like, psych, do something, play it off, and so that way it doesn't look so awkward. But man, I'm glad that you guys had fun.
Yeah, it was really
we did our Valentine's Day, before
with our trip.
So it's so it was good. But I just pretty much worked. It's like. I'm going to keep myself busy. And what I found is that whenever you're not here, I don't just sit around and just like do nothing. It's like, let me try to find some things to do. I actually got into a show that I've been wanting to watch called Wonder Man. And turned out to be a really good show, Wonder Man on Disney. I wasn't familiar with the character or anything like that, but I thought it was cool that Ben Kingsley's character as the Mandarin from Iron Man, he was in it. So there was kind of some connection, and I was like, okay, so I kind of understand where the story is. And so it's really good. I finished the first season. It's short episodes, like 30 minutes or whatever. And so I'm looking forward to the next season. But so I watched that. I was printing some stuff. I did some perf, just trying to keep myself busy.
Yeah, we were texting
each other. And we didn't talk to each other for 2 whole days. It felt like, I had to say, hey, we haven't talked to each other in 2 days. And it was only like 1 day.
It was one full day.
Yeah. So it just felt like an eternity. Well, you got to understand that we've talked like even before we got married. We
Yeah, we
on the
talked.
phone,
No,
on the phone.
yeah.
What I'm saying is like we've never really gone a day without talking
Yeah,
to each other.
since we've been married,
Yeah, and so
or
we
since we met each
since
other.
we met, right? And so it's kind of weird because it's like I'm used to, we work together,
Yeah, so we talk to each
and so
other.
we talk to each other all day, and it's like it just feels weird.
Yeah,
Right?
it did feel weird
Yeah,
not having you there.
yeah. But here we're back, and we're back at it, right? And so, the next segment that we wanted
I
to
was
do.
gonna say about
Oh,
that.
go ahead, go ahead.
I'll say so on our way back, from San Antonio, we our daughter wanted to swing by Fredericksburg, and she said, "Oh, let's have some late breakfast," and so she had that plan, and so we did. We had breakfast at the Old German Bakery and Restaurant. It was really nice. The atmosphere. Everybody was so nice there. Everybody. And then so we finished eating, and then so we went down. We walked down 2 or 3 blocks, just to see the shops and everything that was going on, and so there's a lot of people there. We stopped by. It was called the Fredericksburg General Store. So it had a lot of things you can think of, old toys, themed everything, cups and tumblers and stickers and a whole bunch of stuff. And so we came across these mugs, La Mejor Abuela. Well, they had some German ones like Opa and Oma, but then our daughter saw these and she's like, "Oh, those are so cool!" And so she ended up getting these for
That's
us.
a gift.
Yeah, as a gift.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks.
Thanks.
That's what one of our
That's
grandsons says it like that.
He says thanks.
Thanks. Thank you very much. But these are awesome. I loved it whenever I saw it. I mean, it's just, what more,
I know.
what more? If we go and buy them, it kind of like, but whenever they're gifted to us, we have some in English too. So it's, we must be all right.
Yeah.
We must be all right if we're getting these compliments.
These kinds of things, coming from our kids, man, that means the world to us.
Yeah, if you're listening, kids, remember that.
We love it.
Yeah. And so, that's the weekend recap. The next segment that we normally go into is our project highlight. And so we are currently working on another vestibule wrap. We call them the campus privacy wraps. And so we were contacted by one of the local schools, Wiley, and and so it's a kind of a thing that schools are trying to add a little bit more security to their campuses, right? And so I learned a new word, vestibule, which is you got your front entrance, but then you got another you got kind of like an entryway. An entryway and then so another set of doors and windows, and that area is called the vestibule. And so to be able to add a little bit more privacy and security, these campuses are contacting us so that we can install some perforated vinyl on the outside of the windows to kind of limit the visibility going into the actual main entrance, and so we got contacted by another one, and so this one's a little bit different because it's like there's almost like an area on the inside that they want to secure. It's not just the vestibule; it's the one on the inside, and so it's a kind of some rounded windows, and so we're working on the design right now, and we'll post some pictures whenever we when we're working on it and when we're done, but. These are just things that a lot of campuses within Texas that they're it's kind of on top of their mind, and so we got our foot in the door, last year, I guess, and so through word of mouth we've done a handful, and so we're expecting to get a lot of more of those because once we do it, then like this principal or security officer, he'll tell. The other campus, and then so we end up doing more through word of mouth, and so, but these the campus privacy wraps are are definitely something that we are excited to do, and it's really a good service because, if you think about it, it doesn't need to be really secure, right? You just need to distract the person. If someone's going in and they have malice in their heart, and they're trying to do bad, all you need to do is just a deterrent, something
Right.
to like say, hey, this is not going to be easy. Let me go find another place that's easier, because that's what they think, right? And so if they see cameras, if they see people standing, like security officers standing, if they see anything that will make them think twice, that can possibly, discourage them from following through with
Yeah.
their evil plans, right? And so we're excited to be able to provide this service, because if it saves one student, if it saves one school campus from being attacked, it's just a good feeling, right? And so it's a good service. So if you're a principal or a teacher, or your kids are in a school and their vestibule is not wrapped, and you'd like to maybe get some pricing or just have a discussion about it, give us a call, send us a message, and then we'll work it out. We'll help you out to the best of our ability, right? But that's the project highlight. I mean, we have some other things. We're doing trailers and color changes and truck wraps, commercial wraps and signs and banners and shirts, and we're kind of already firing on all cylinders, and except embroidery needs to pick up the pace, embroidery department. But it's like wide format, like I said earlier, it's dominating our business. And so we don't do a lot of advertising. It's just word of mouth. We post our work on social media, and that keeps us busy all year round. And so that's a good segment. It's a good kind of segue, because the next thing that I got written down here is kind of our 2026 vision. It's not so much about going into details about what we have planned this coming year. We're already in February, right? But it's kind of sharing some of the cool things that we got going on, right? Things that are just that I'm excited about, right? And one of them is the what I call the custom design street series wraps. We have a page dedicated to these custom wraps, and these are going to be the designs that you've seen us do, the Dragon Ball Z's. We've done some the Spider-Verse. We've done some of those, and several anime related or themed designs, and that's what this area is going to be. It's going to focus on just those custom designs. We're going to get crazy. If you go to our website and you type in the custom wraps, you'll see some of the sample designs that we have, and we got one of Chainsaw Man and a couple other ones, and Demon Hunter, I think. And so we have a really good graphic designer, Lauren with Naughty Concepts. Shout out to you, man. He is the main designer that we're working with to bring these custom designs to life, and so we're excited. We're so excited that I think that this year is going to be the year that we're finally going to set up a booth at the World of Build show. And funny story here, I've had this booth paid for like already for 2 years, and we worked out some trade with banners, and I said, okay, this year I'll do it. And it's always like we get busy, and it's like, okay, I can't do it. And then they're like, okay, you got a booth next year. All right, same thing. Get excited, and then don't do it. And then here's another year where I'm excited, and I gotta follow through and do it, because if we're gonna get these custom wraps, like put them on the map, we got to get out there and do some shows. So we got our trade show set up. We got it designed. We're about to put it in production, so that way, I think that's the biggest barrier, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Just having it ready so that we can just kind of, heck, we could set it outside whenever we're doing a wrap, just, doing stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, that might be something that we're going to do. We got it ready to go. And so hopefully this year we'll be at the World of Build show. It's in at the end of June, and so we'll have a booth, maybe our vehicle, maybe we get one of the ones that we that we wrapped in the past that they can show their car, maybe even our commercial wrap, because it's really a custom design. It's not your standard commercial design, right? It's going to be really cool, highly custom, and definitely not a cookie cutter design.
Yeah.
Right. And so, but yeah, that's part of that. I'm working on some other cool things that I just can't share right now, but we just have a lot of good things, that that we're working towards, and we're growing. We're looking to add some new people to our business, and we're kind of fine tuning our SOPs, and just trying to figure it out, because for those of you who own a business, you can kind of operate under like controlled chaos. It's like you don't have all your stuff together, but it's like you got a mess, right? But you know where everything's at, right? I guess that's the best way to describe it. It's like nothing is like where it should be or organized, where someone from the outside can come in and say, oh yeah, this is this, and I know how to do this, and okay, step-by-step process, right? We're working on that and have been working on that. But both of us have been doing it for so long that we know where everything's at. We know what to do, and it's it's kind of like just routine for us. But we always have to remind ourselves is that it's not always just going to be you. And we are at the point in our business where we are at the capacity of what two people can do in this business for us, right? Yeah. There might be other people who are more skilled and all that might could do a little bit more. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that for us, in order for us to grow, we are going to have to add people to our team. And as far as process, we're not so disorganized that we don't, that we're missing appointments and dropping the ball and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to grow on the outside, I guess. Facilities, teams, new equipment, things like that. Speaking of new equipment, we've always had plans to upgrade, right? But I'm the type of person that I'm going to use a piece of equipment until it breaks down, right? Well, that happened.
Imagine that.
And so because of that, I mean, we got like, you got a new laptop, I got a new PC, and we're in the process of getting a new plotter. And it's all because we have to get it, right? So I had the bright idea, I was putting up some panels that I want to wrap in our shop. And so while I was printing, I think I was printing a panel for a window perf. I got the bright idea that I'm going to mess with this outlet that we had installed, and really I wasn't messing with it. I was just kind of like I wanted to see, if I like how I was going to have to cut the panel around it, and just in that little movement, I did unscrew it, but just in that little movement, I guess I touched the ground wire. I did something. Well, that little thing created a spark in our light. It fried my computer, and it burnt out the USB port on my plotter, all at the same time. I didn't think nothing of it because I was looking here, and then when I looked at, and then the printer was still printing because the file had already been sent. Thank God that nothing happened to the printer, right? But it's on a different outlet. And so I'm not an electrician, so I don't know exactly, the science behind it. But long story short, I had to get a new PC. We tried to troubleshoot the plotter.
Everything you could think of.
Yeah, it's like, do I got the wrong drivers? I upgraded our RIP software to see if they could get some help. All of that, had somebody come in and look at the board and resolder the not the fuses, but the whatever those little things are, and and then nothing. It's just not working. So sadly, I got to replace my 15-year-old plotter. I should have replaced it a long time ago, but it was going. I mean, it's doing the trick, doing the trick. So I mean, it never complained. It never called in sick. It never said, "Hey, boss, I'm tired." Never did none of that stuff.
Or, "Hey, boss, can you get me a new cutting strip?"
Yeah, cutting strip, boss. This blade is dull. I got to work real hard to cut it. It never complained. And so, But we're about to put into retirement. That guy has been with us from the very beginning.
Very beginning.
And so there's sentimental value to it, in my opinion. And for those of you who maybe are connected with me on Facebook or social media, you know that I get attached to my tools, right? And so whenever I run over, a step stool, or whenever a heat gun goes out, or something, I have an unusual relationship with my tools. I get sad whenever I have to put them down or I have to replace them. And I'm going to have a ceremony for our plotter, because that guy has been, we've been working together for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that equipment isn't like a human being, but hey, it's been loyal to me. It's been loyal to me. So we'll see. We'll have a special thing, and then I'm going to put it in the museum of our history, right? Alongside my black laptop. And if I ever find my blue tape, we'll put it by the blue tape too. So, but yeah, that's so we have some really cool things. If you guys follow us on social media, I'm kind of giving some snapshots on some things that we're working on. One of the ones that is kind of like for future, but it's already, we're making steps, is the Wrapfu. And so Wrapfu, for anybody who is interested, that is what a term that I came up with. I'm actually wearing the hat. And the theme, kind of a motto is keep it Wrapfu. And so keeping it Wrapfu is just like, keep it calm, keep it professional, keep it level headed, do things right. Don't skip. Don't try to take shortcuts. Don't do anything like that. Just do it right. Take your time, because vehicle wrap can be an art, right? Just like the martial arts, it's like, it's a science, it's a discipline, and so you can actually, the skill that you develop as a wrap installer, I like to consider it as like a skill, like a martial art. Mm-hmm. And so I call it Wrapfu, right? And so we're working on developing kind of a training system, because we're going to bring on some installs and some installers that we're going to train. And so my idea behind that is the Wrapfu Academy. I am the Wrapfu master. And then we got our Wrapfu. She's pretty close. She's not a Padawan anymore. She's getting better. So I got to think of the levels, right?
What'd you say about my mama?
You're not a Wrapfu master yet, but you are definitely not a Padawan. A Padawan is for Star Wars, or like that's the starter.
Oh, okay.
Those are the ones who are just starting, right? And so you're not a Jedi yet. Which that's what a Wrapfu master would be. And so I consider myself a Wrapfu master, but for anyone out there who has mastered any skill, that there is never an end to becoming a master, right? Being a master is something that you continuously do. You're always growing, you're always getting better. So I'm going to develop a training system, and I'm going to call it the Wrapfu Academy. And so somewhere down the road, we will hopefully have something online, training online. Definitely it's going to be our operating procedure, that, our training system in-house is going to be the Wrapfu Academy. And we're working on merch. We already got some shirts and some hoodies and things like that, hats and all that stuff. But we're working on some other things, which I'm excited about, because we're bringing this thing to life. Yeah. It started out just with an idea. If you guys have been listening to any of the videos, you know that we have created a Red Alpha soundtrack, which is original songs that belong to us that I'm using AI to create. And so we now we don't have to worry about one of our songs being copyright or using somebody else's stuff. We have our own sound. Mm. And so whenever you think Red Alpha, I want you to think, my sexy little ladder, or keeping it Wrapfu, or boss ladies, and I want you to think that. So you're going to start hearing sounds. You're going to be like, man, I need to go buy from Red Alpha. So, go to our YouTube page and hit the Red Alpha soundtrack, and you'll see we got several songs already. I write the lyrics, and then AI, this AI app called Suno, it brings everything else to life. And you have the flexibility of changing the music and all that stuff. So it's like if you want something to last a little longer or cut short, you can click on it and then you can make your little thing. So it's not it's not really the AI doing 100%, but it's doing a lot of it, right? So I like it because it's like I've always had a creative way about me, right? So I can write poems, I can write songs, right? And I can write little jingles and things like that. And so it's really cool to be able to use that creative side of me, right? Because before it's like, hey, you got to talk to your friends that are in bands or musicians and pay a lot of money, to get the 12 days of Christmas done, it's like, and so this way right here is like, man, boom. Whenever I sign up, the first thing, let's do the Red Alpha 12 Days of Christmas. And that came out really good. Yeah. And then it's like, just when you have an idea, I can do it. And I'll write the lyrics real quick. And then, we'll work out the flow of it, and I like different types of music. So some of them are going to be, kind of R&B. I wrote my wife an R&B Valentine's Day love song.
Yes.
Man, and that sounds like some Boys to Men, or it was good. So I mean, check that one out, because it put hearts in her eyes, and I was like, when I listened to it, I was like, man, this is really good. And so I wrote the words to that, and then I knew what type of style that I wanted. So you guys let me know. AI is a useful tool. There's AI charts and all that stuff. That you can take your music and you can distribute it, and who knows, make money. Right now, I'm just using it just to create a soundtrack for our business. So those are just some of the things that I'm excited about this year. I mean, we are. I think this year is going to be a great year. It's starting off great, and so we definitely have to grow. Not just, in our processes, but inside. I think that we're going to be better than what we are today. And even though we've come a long way, right? But in order to get to where we're going, we have to be different people. But so we're going to go into our next section, which is the Red Alpha coffee break. And I'm adding something new to our coffee break. So the normal coffee break, for those of you guys who've listened, is where we take a little break. I get some coffee, drink some water, and I allow my wife to just talk about a random topic that maybe just popped in her mind, or something she's been thinking about, or whatever, and so that she could talk about that. And then I have something new to introduce, which I call the Wrapfu Cookie. Right, the Wrapfu Cookie. And did you have something prepared that you want to talk about? You don't? Okay, so let me talk a little bit more about your passion for Gilmore Girls, and then I'll take a drink of coffee and go into that.
Oh, so, and also that evening when we got back, we went to Cracker Barrel, right, to go get some to-go food. And so we were waiting, and I was looking at all the stuff that they have in there, which is pretty cool. A little, the stuff that they sell. So I was looking, and then Ruben found a Gilmore Girls themed crossword, right?
Puzzle. It's a book of
crosswords, but it goes through all the 7 seasons, and so it has topics, and sometimes I mean, I went through it, and it's there are a lot of fun facts about the show and scenes from the show and all that. So then I was like, oh, this is cool. So I got it, and I was going to pay for it. And then the lady from there, she's like, oh, you like Gilmore Girls? I'm like, yeah, I do. She goes, yeah, me too. And then I'm like, oh, I just got back. And so I told her about the weekend. I just got back meeting, doing the meet and greet with all the actors, and she was like, "What? Oh my gosh!" I go, "Yeah." And so my husband like, "Show her the pictures," and because I had the pictures on my phone, and I'm like, "Look, these are the pictures of all the actors," and we took pictures, and she was like, "Man, that's awesome! Can't believe that." And then I was like, "Yeah," so that was pretty cool, meeting other fans and stuff. Another thing after on Sunday, we because we were finished early. We went to the zoo, and I took my little tote bag that says no cell phones, right? Anybody that's a fan of Gilmore Girls would know what that is. It's from Luke Steiner.
Mm-hmm.
I had it, not one person said anything. And I was like, out of all the places, I mean, that is like the melting pot, basically, of San Antonio, right?
Mm-hmm.
People from all over the United States come to, and you can have all different types of people there. Not one person said anything about it. I'm like, not one fan is here.
Well, I blame that on social media because social media is a great tool, right? And it can be used to connect people, but the connections aren't as strong as, like back in the day. Back in the day, the connections that you made were stronger because you're meeting face to face, and it takes a long time to build a relationship when, face to face.
Yeah.
On social media, everything you want to know about a person by the end of the week, because they're posting their passions, their drama, their business, whatever it is, their philosophy, their politics, right? And so you kind of feel, it's like when you watch the show and you feel like the actor because you watch the show so much, but the connection isn't really there, right? Because if the connection was really there, you'd know not to shake Luke's hand. You would have handed him the picture, right?
First.
And so that's probably what it is people don't know how to, hey, I like that shirt, and that kind of stuff. But there are still people out there like that. I mean, because anytime that we go to Austin, it's I get compliments on the shirt that I'm wearing, and people, oh man, I like this shirt. And it's like because we go out to a festival or a market or something like that. And so, but yeah, you would think that at the zoo that somebody would but I think because of social media, a lot of people have become like introverts, where they're out there doing stuff, but it's just and I'm like right here, I don't want to look over here, stranger danger, and so I think that, but the cool thing is whenever you're into something, right, there's always going to be somebody out there that is into it, and if it's like an icebreaker. And so you can always meet someone new, and who knows, the people that you might meet if you take the first, because most people don't want to, they're shy and they're introverted. But if you kind of compliment, their purse or their clothes or something about them, hey, I like that show too. One of the guys at FedEx, I noticed that he was into Rick and Morty. And so we had that connection. It's like there's really nothing else, but it's like now whenever we go in, they know who we are. They get our stuff without needing our ID or whatever, and it's like relationships, right? East nice. That's from The Office. And so for those of you guys who don't know, we are aspiring to be professional show watchers. We have a brand called Showmates that is dedicated to our love and our passion of watching shows. We will binge watch a show like it's nobody's business, right? And so, I mean, like I said, my wife will watch something in between the episodes that we're about to watch. So like I said, I just watched Wonder Man. But I'm also watching the Knights of the Seven Kingdom, and together we're watching Yellowstone. And for those of you guys who have seen Yellowstone and you didn't call me and tell me how good this show was, shame on you. Shame on you. And I mean, this show is like, we're in season 4 now, and I'm like, golly, man, it just keeps getting better. And granted, in the beginning, if you're not into that scene, like the cowboys and Indian, the Western type stuff, it's one of those things where it's like you have to just kind of give it a season, right? Give it the first season, because by season 2 you start engaging with the characters, right? And I was talking to a friend about that too. I was like, man, but it seems like that with every show. You have to enjoy the process of storytelling, right? Everything can't be explosions and sex and violence, right? Sometimes, like the best ones, they start slow. And you're telling the story, and they're building the characters, and they're, you're kind of seeing what's motivating them and all of that stuff. And so Yellowstone is getting good. We need to hurry up and finish it because there's other spin-offs that are coming. I also want to watch 1923 and 1888 so that we can get some background, some backstory to the Yellowstone. But man, I'm excited about that. But yeah, and so that's our Showmates brand. So go check it out on our website. We have a section for that. We got several shirts, and I'm pretty sure we're going to be adding some Yellowstone on there too. A design, it's a theme design that's inspired by that, right? And so go check it out, buy some shirts, wear them to your next, your show, your binge watching, event. Right. And so another new thing that I mentioned that I want to introduce, it's called the Wrapfu Cookie. Boom, from your Wrapfu master. Right. So I write these funny kind of little quotes. Sometimes they'll be inspirational, sometimes it's funny. Definitely will be sarcastic a lot of times. And so it's just things that random thoughts that come into my mind, and I write it in the form of a fortune cookie, I guess. And so this is the picture right here. It's basically our Wrapfu master logo, and then it's in a fortune cookie. The funny thing about fortune cookies is I never eat fortune cookies, right? And I actually have a cookie that says, eat the cookie, but create your own fortune. Boom. Wrapfu Cookie, right? And so this one right here today, it says, the path to mastery is a winding road with many shortcuts that lead to nowhere. Always carry a compass so you never get off course. The Wrapfu Master.
Awesome.
I mean, what can you say about that, right? Stay on track, stay focused. Don't get distracted by an easy way out or a shortcut, because if you do that, there's a good chance that you're going to get off course, and you might be going in the direction, but all it takes is a degree, 2 degrees, 3 degrees, going in the same, you're going forward, but you're a few degrees off. And the further you go, the farther away that you can get away from your goal. You're going forward, you're busy, you're doing things, but the original plan was to go right here. Now I'm way over here. Yeah. I'm like somewhere, I'm not even in the area. The further you go, if you just stay that 1 to 2 degree. And so you always need to look up and see where you're at, right? Wake up and smell the coffee, right? And just make sure that you're not just grinding and grinding and grinding. I'm real big about putting, being in the grindstone, right? Nose to the grind type deal. But if you don't look up, you might be off course, right? And you might be following somebody else's vision, right? So you always need to check that vision and say, hey, okay, we're good. Let's do it, right? And then as long as you're following your plan, the plan that God gave you, and the plan that you and your partner, have your business partner have come together in agreement on, then you're good. It doesn't work. It doesn't matter how fast it goes. It just matters that you're doing it the way that it was planned out, right? Because there's a lot of distractions in this world, and so you could get distracted, and you're thinking that you're doing it, and actually what you're doing is you're abandoning your primary purpose, right? And so it's not a good thing. And that's a good segue right there for the Wrapfu Cookie, because our last segment is another thing that we have within our business. And those of you guys who follow me or even follow any of our pages, that we have another idea that's called, it's actually a category of videos, right, where we talk about behind the scenes stuff. I call it behind the X's and O's, behind the X's and O's of business. There's a lot of people that you can go to, and you can they'll tell you how to do SEO. They'll build you a website. There's classes that you could go to and seminars to be taught how to sell. All the technical things. There's companies that'll write standard operating procedures for you, right? There's copywriters that will, or I don't know what you call them, but they'll write all your social media posts. They'll do all of that, right? There's plenty of resources, bookkeepers that you can go to that will help you get your books and all of that stuff, training classes that you go to. But there isn't really a a training for what goes on behind the scenes, right? How do you keep it together when everything is falling apart, right? What do you do whenever you hit a brick wall, right? How do you, whenever you don't see a way out, how do you still keep looking for one, right? How do you handle adversity, right? Adversity in the day to day, but how do you handle adversity in your life? And you still got to run a business, right? Those are the challenges that we need more people talking about, because those are the things that put people out of business. It's usually not the X's and O's. It's the behind the X's and O's, right? It's like, hey, I built a business for all of this time, and I was hoping that one of my kids would be into it, but none of them are into it, and they probably have good reasons, because they've seen how maybe that tore their parents apart, right? And in health, in their relationship, and all of that stuff. Like, we don't see what goes on behind the scenes, right? Just to produce a product, right? And so if your kids don't want to do it, they're probably saying, man, I mean, why would I want that life? Right? And so there's a way to do it, right? And what we try to use this philosophy is just to kind of be open about the things that we discuss. We're not saying that we have it all figured out, but the one thing that I do think we have figured out pretty good is we're going to talk about it. We're not going to leave anything in the dark. We're going to bring it to the light, so that at least we have an opportunity to know where the frustration is coming, right? And so we have these conversations, and so I just figured that it's something that we can talk about and share our experience, and maybe somebody out there is going through the same thing. That when you hear our conversation of behind the X's and O's, you'll be like, man, I thought I was the only one, right? I'm glad that somebody else is kind of can relate, right? And maybe they can help me, like, from falling flat on my face. And just this, we're working with a customer that they're new in business, and my wife had a pretty decent conversation with the lady that has started the business, and she it's really cool, because she was explaining her situation and how it's just something inside of her that is driving her to do it, and she doesn't really have mentors or that kind of thing, and really not that much of a support system, but she said, but there's something in me that I need to do, right? And that's something that, because I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
It's like, I always say it like this, if the idea comes and goes, then, maybe it was a good idea, but it's not really part of your passion or your purpose, right? But if the idea keeps coming and you can't get it out of your head, you can't get it out of your mind, and you're like, man, there's something I got to do with this idea, right? Those are the things that you really need to pay attention to, because I believe that God puts these types of thoughts, it puts us in front of us. We see something that reminds us, or we just like sitting there and we're just thinking about it. We're getting ideas and visions and stuff like that. And I believe that God puts these creative thoughts in front of you, so because it's something that needs to be done, right? It's part of your purpose, right? And so it's just like these things right here. I mean, the behind the X's and O's it was an idea, right? It wasn't something that nobody spoke to me out of a burning bush. There was no dove that came and handed me a message, or none of that stuff, right? There was no prophet that spoke wise words to me. It was I didn't see I didn't read a book or watch a movie that inspired me to do any of it, right? It's just at random times I feel like these thoughts and these ideas come to me, and I believe that creativity, all forms of creativity, starts out in a spiritual form, and it's all around us, right? But it's and being creative is something that I feel that all of us have the capability of doing. The problem is that some of us don't believe in ourselves, right? And so you first have to, cross that hurdle before you can start to be creative, and some of us think too highly of other people's opinion, right? And so if you have an idea and you give it to the wrong person, that person's going to shoot it down, not because it's a bad idea, but because they themselves don't have the courage of trying something new, right? They want to do what they've been taught and trained to do. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, if you're a creative, if you're someone who is trying to find your passion, don't share those things with people who haven't tried themselves, right? Most people walk around afraid to do anything that might draw criticism or that might make them look dumb, and so fortunately for me, and I think of many creatives out there, is I don't have that problem, right? I don't care if I look dumb. I don't care if the idea is dumb. If I like it, then we're going to do it. And because of that, we have, in-house brands. I don't know how many hundreds of design, like original designs, like I call them Red Alpha Originals. We have Red Alpha Soundtrack. We're working on the Red Alpha Wrapfu Academy. We got Behind the X's and O's. We got the Showmates. We got the Mugshot Monday podcast, right? And and I'm not like fried, right?
Yeah.
I'm just a walking, talking, hallelujah. I'm just an example of someone who is not, I'm not shackled by the opinions of other people, right?
Yeah.
I believe in myself. I believe in the God that I serve, and I actually have a wife that lets me do it, right? She doesn't try to, give me her opinion if she doesn't like it. She's just like, okay, it's like, that's your thing. And so I get real excited about what I'm excited about. I was talking yesterday about the story that I'm working on writing, and I'll share that another day. But I was like just talking about the potential. So I created the theme song to the adventures of Tito Tamale. I got like a few of them that are pretty good, right? And so as I was listening to them, I said, but this one right here just kind of like hits me right in the feels, right? And so it was just like, this is good. It may not be the final one, but man, it's good. And so as I was listening to the song, it made me feel what I think that the story of the Adventures of Tito Tamale is going to portray, right? And so I was telling her about the potential of how the story is going to go, right? And I'm not going to share that here, but I was sharing that, and I said, so it could be this, or it could be that. And the thought of one of them, like, really, really got to me, and like to where I got emotional about it. And this is crazy because this is a story, right? It's not true.
It's not a biography.
It's not a biography. It's just an imagination, something that came that was birthed out of my imagination, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to put it together and express it in like comic book form, like graphic novel type form, right? And so we've I've had local artists that came in and draw a sketch of the character, and we got some shirts that we printed, and so I got really high hopes for the Adventures of Tito Tamale, but the story lives inside of me, and so I get excited about these things, and so because I feel like every single thing is part of me, right? If that makes sense, it's like it's a part of me. This thing that you're seeing is a part of me, right? And I'm more, and you're more than what you see, right? What we see here, it's just a body that we're wrapped in, right? But we were created to be creative, right? And so if we can just have the courage to do it, right? And that's really, these are the conversations that we have behind the X's and O's, right? We have a daily blog that we that we write, and and I'm in partnership with Chepe, which is ChatGPT, and so I'll give him the theme, he'll write it, and then I'll make some adjustments, like to make it more personal, and so it's not 100%, hey, write it and then do it. It's like I'm involved and I'm writing it. Sometimes I have I want you to put this, like in today's deal, I talk a little bit about my philosophy that I came up with in the Army. And you saw I share part of my story within the blog post, but the kind of the series of the week right here is today's post especially is about just hanging in there, right? I talk about how whenever I was younger, I got awarded the longevity award whenever I was 19, 20 years old, right? And it's only because I did like a bunch of tours or rotations, if you want to call it, at Fort Irwin, right? And so every month we have a new unit that was coming to train in the desert type stuff. And so we were stationed there, so we didn't have no choice, right? So every month we would do the same type training, but we're training for other people. And so the other bases, they would go once a year, probably, maybe once every other year, but we were doing it every month. And so I had done, I think it was 18 to 20 different rotations, right? And so because of that, they gave me the longevity award. And I didn't think at the time, I didn't think it was special, because I was like, what's the big deal? I'm stationed here, and so it's like, I got to do this because it's my job, right? But as a business owner, longevity is a big deal. Being consistent, showing up, the longevity award basically, in a way it says that this person showed up and did his job and was consistent over this long period of time, right? That doesn't seem really glamorous, but whenever you own a business, as long as we have, I'm telling you, showing up is a big deal, because there's a lot of people that aren't showing up today, and it's not because they couldn't, it's because they gave up, they got distracted, they got off course, and now they find themselves in a situation that is, in their mind, they're telling themselves, it's easier for me to quit than for me to start again and try again, right? And that's sad, because I heard Les Brown says, that the cemetery is full of dead dreams, because people didn't have the courage to follow their passion, or maybe they got discouraged by other people, or they tried and they quit, or something. It's like the cemetery is full of people, full of dead dreams and brilliant ideas, right? Because of that, I want to live my life pouring out what I feel that God has put inside of me. Red Alpha is just one of them, and we're going to do the best that we can do with our business. But there are so many other things that I'm passionate about, and that we are becoming passionate about, that we want to express as well. And you'll see glimpses of it in our business. And it was just yesterday, because of the conversation that you had with that customer, I was able to kind of like really fine tune what our mission is at Red Alpha. Even though we're a print shop and we print, a variety of different types of products, right? Our mission is to help people keep believing, to help them, bring the vision that they have, to life, right? So we provide services that help people either believe for the first time, or believe one more time, or try again, right? That's what we do. That's what we're in the business of, helping people try, and helping people dream, and helping people build and express what's inside of them, right? That's what we do. It just so happens that we print shirts, vehicle wraps, banners, and signs, right? It just so happens that we do that. But the real reason why I get up is that today could be an opportunity for me to change somebody's life, because I'm going to hear your dream, And I'm not going to discourage the dream. I'm going to encourage you so that you can dream again. Right. And so that's the purpose of our deal. And those are the conversations that we have behind the X's and O's. If you meet my wife in person, you can ask her about all the thousands of stories and ideas that we talk about that I have. And it's just like, I want to live my life just pouring out in that way. Obviously to my kids, I feel like just because we've got the longevity award in business, now they are trying for themselves. They are making moves on their own, and it's like, it's awesome. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. And so, man, I could talk all day about this, but we're going to go ahead and wrap it up because we got people we need to talk to and help them dream one more time. But if you guys want to connect with us, we're on every social media channel, all the major ones, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Follow us, leave a comment, let us know what you think about anything that we talked about. We are going to get back on it with the Mugshot Monday podcast. We'll be going live here pretty soon. I've thought about it and we're going to start doing that. But connect with us. If you're not a customer and maybe we're the type of people you want to do business with, right? Because I believe that's important. I mean, to do business with people that you like. Not that you trust or not that could just do a good job, but people that you kind of, what do the young kids say, that you vibe with, right? And so if we're your type of people, we're located here in Abilene, Texas, but, our website's 24/7. You can give us a call. We're active on social media. Send us a direct message on there and we'll connect with you and we'll help bring your vision to life. And we'll do it with all the tools and equipment and ideas that we have, and hopefully do a good job. Right. But anyways, that's it for today. We're signing off with Red Alpha Mugshot Monday. I'm Reuben. This is my wife,
Veronica.
And we are your Alpha Reds. We are the owners of Red Alpha Custom Prints. Bye for now.
Red Alpha out.